I desire to know God more. I want to draw deeper and closer to God. Christ is my judge and my advocate, and I work for him as a lawyer. Christ is my judge and my advocate, and I work for him as a lawyer. Welcome to Pricey's courtroom. We have lawyer Nanama here, where I present myself as a Christian lawyer, bringing forth Christian legal advice from the Constitution of the engrafted Word of the Lord. When I say Constitution, I mean what we all refer to it as the Bible. As it were, my client has made a decision that she wants to draw deeper and closer to the righteous judge, but then there are times that she has a lot of questions and that she is really drawing deeper and closer to the righteous judge. And started off with Christian legal advice. We have given 8 legal advice, and now we are on the 9th legal advice. And the other time on the 8th legal advice, we said that it is the righteous judge who is the only person that can satisfy our hearts. That if we take what the world has offered, then we'd always have to go there again and again. So their 9th legal advice is surrendering to the righteous judge. And of course, sometimes when we hear surrender, we are all scared because we think that surrender is we giving our all and not getting anything in return. But then this legal advice is surrender everything to the judge. We start with the case that we started off with. Jesus was teaching the Samaritan woman how to surrender by asking the Samaritan woman, could you give me a drink? And this Samaritan woman had not learned how to surrender. It takes surrender to know that in as much as you are desiring for certain things, till you surrender to God, there's no way it can come into your life. When you surrender to God, there's no way God can have this relationship with him. He desires surrender, and there's always a stage when we want to draw deeper and closer to the righteous judge. There's always a stage where there's surrender. If you want to draw deeper and closer to the righteous judge and you have not reached the state of surrender, then I'm sorry, you've not really reached the state of drawing deeper and closer to the righteous judge, because drawing deeper and closer to the righteous judge requires you to surrender. And you see that as clearly recorded in our referral case from the Constitution of the engrafted Word of the Lord from John chapter 4 verses 15. The woman said to him, "Say, give me this water that I may not thirst, nor come here to draw." And now that is the stage where the Samaritan woman has reached. Jesus had taught her how to surrender by asking, "Can you give me a drink?" And then now she had to go through the stages of the physical war. She had to go through the stages of contemplation. She had to go through the stages of condemnation and all of that. Now she has crossed that stage, and finally she has reached the stage where she has realized that now this man she's talking to has not condemned her, but is rather convicting her. This man she's talking to, a Jewish man, but then he hasn't condemned her for the fact that she's a Samaritan and all of that. And now she had come to believe that, okay, this man I'm talking to can be much greater than this well that she has been going to every time. Then if this man claims that he is able to provide for her something greater than that of the well, then give me what you offer. And that is the stage where she had reached, surrendering to Jesus, surrendering to God, surrendering to the righteous judge. And so today I want to remind you that this is the time, this is the hour to surrender. Surrender your thoughts, surrender your belief, surrender your mind, surrender your life, surrender everything, and ask him that, Jesus, I'm asking you, can you give me this Holy Spirit? Can you give me this living water? Can you give me what you provide? Can you give me this peace? And so I surrender my whole heart to you. I surrender my mind. I surrender my guilt. I surrender my condemnation. I surrender my pain. I surrender my grief. I surrender my confusion. I surrender everything to you so that I can draw deeper and closer to, that I can encounter the living water, which is the Holy Spirit. And so today, this is our legal advice, that I want you to reach the stage where you are just surrendering to God and asking him to do what only he can do in your life, to transform your life that he only he can transform. You should change your life that he only he can change. Alright, so this is our legal advice, that surrendering to God is the 9th legal advice I am giving to you. Don't forget to book your appointment on my Instagram at Lauren Anama, and don't forget to subscribe. Remember, Christ is my judge and my advocate, and I work for him as